Tonight on Missing Persons Unit, Stuart Gatehouse set out to visit his brother, but never made it.
Car could go into some of this stuff and it'd just disappear straight in.
It's a massive land and air search in one of the most emotional cases yet.
Where does it go from here? Does it get harder? Does it get easier? Do we find closure, don't we?
Then, the Missing Persons Unit hit the water in the hunt for Thomas King, missing for 5 days on the Hawkesbury River.
Yeah, you see that rowboat just behind the beach there?
And a beloved father disappears after his marriage breaks down and he loses his job. Now, his daughter just wants him home in time to walk her down the aisle.
I think he's feeling very rejected and isolated and doesn't have...
Got nothing, no one to turn to.
Yeah, no one to turn to.
At the New South Wales Missing Persons Unit, Constable Doug McIntyre is on the phone to Lynn, the mother of Thomas King, who ditched school with 2 mates and hasn't been seen for 5 days.
What was his state of mind when he initially went missing on Friday morning?
On Friday morning, he was very moody and very surly. I asked him what was wrong, and he said nothing, that he just didn't like the idea of having to go to school for another day. And I sort of said, well, mate, you know, that's life. I don't know, I can go to work every day, but I have to do it. And I'd actually spoken to him about we could go for some driving lessons, and he just kind of grunted at me.
OK, all right. Well, we might head up your way to try and help you out further and speak to the local police.
OK, thanks, Doug.
OK.
OK, bye.
Thank you. Bye. Should we go, Mandy? Dean, how are you? Hi, Constable McIntyre.
Hi.
This is Senior Constable Gal.
Hi, nice to meet you, Mandy.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really slept since he went missing, because you want your kids in home and bed, don't you? You don't want them out.
So has he taken a bag with clothes, or you can't be sure?
I don't think so, and if he hasn't taken much. I dropped him off at school on Friday and he was wearing his long black pants, and he had a T-shirt under his school shirt, but that was all he had. I found his little school bag that he had with him when I dropped him off, so he's obviously come back and got more stuff. We found that the screen on his window is broken, so he may have even climbed in that way.
Tom's been missing for 5 days after taking off with 2 school friends. It's not just his well-being that's in jeopardy.
Is he under any pressure at school?
Yeah.
Essentially, he'll now be expelled because he was on this contract, so because he hasn't turned up,
He would
they've
know
got
that?
every right.
So,
he knows that.
So he'd be feeling he's let you down?
Oh, absolutely. My biggest concern, obviously, is something horrible could happen to him. And if they've got no money, then how are they going to get money? How are they going to survive unless they steal or they get into any worse trouble? So.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really sorry. Sorry.
As Doug and Mandy head off to start the search for Tom, his mum Lynn just hopes he realises it's okay to come home.
Thomas, if you are seeing this, this is your chance to come home before you're in trouble, because you might be finding yourself in a position where you do something that you regret. I love you and I want you home.
"1,000 kilometres north in Brisbane, the Queensland Missing Persons Unit has renewed an investigation into the 5-year-old case of Stuart Gatehouse. 45-year-old Stuart went missing after leaving his Kenilworth home in 2004 and setting off to visit his brother 600 kilometres away in Mackay.
In good spirits as far as we know, just having a chat the night before with his friend the way you would, and then unfortunately he's never been seen since.
And neither has Stuart's Red Commodore. After numerous false sightings and still no sign of Stuart all these years later, his family has asked police to reopen the case and widen their search.
In all of these missing person cases, it's very important for the family to locate the missing person and get some closure. If it's bad news that the person has passed away, then that's very distressing for the family, but it's also, they know, at least they have some answers. Hopefully Stuart's still alive, but yes, for the family, they're a big victim in these sorts of matters and probably a underrated victim. It turns out a search has not been done for his vehicle in the area around where he went missing. So what we're going to do is organise SES and the AGL rescue helicopter to help us out with the search in the area.
At home in Tasmania, Stuart's father has never given up hope that one day he'll have answers to the mysterious disappearance of his oldest son.
I mean, the very fact that we've heard nothing sort of does make you wonder, I must admit, but no, I mean, Stuart's a survivor. And that's the latest photo of all I've got of Stuart's taken 2003, that one. So Stuart's 50 now. I know where they all are, the kids, you know, and I just want to know where Stuart is, and so that I've, you know, I mean, he knows where I am, and I just want to say good day, so how you going, mate, you know?
Back in Queensland, Stuart's younger brother Grant is still clinging to the hope that he'll see his brother again, and has travelled from his home in Mackay to join the new search.
Whenever Stuart was around, there was always a laugh and a joke, and it was, you know, it was part of a great family time, and I have 3 children of my own, and, you know, I can see a bit of Stuart in them, and I'd really like it, you know, if he could have input into their lives.
Although it's been 5 years since he went missing, Detective Damien Powell hopes that an extensive air and land search near where Stuart was last seen may unearth clues to his baffling disappearance.
Thank you very much for coming along this morning. This is Stuart's brother, and
Hey guys.
Grant's here and is concerned about his brother. That's the reason we're doing this today. Our purpose of the search this morning is to search that bluff road and see if there's a chance that the vehicle is down off the side of the road. It's a red Commodore. Bear in mind that the car has been there potentially for nearly 5 years. Now, it may be that Stuart had an accident and stumbled off with some sort of head injury, but if we can locate his car, that would be a great start. All right?
Yeah, all right, mate. Clear to start.
As the search begins, Grant knows this is his last chance to find his brother. On the northern beaches of Sydney, Doug and Mandy are searching for 17-year-old Thomas King, who's been missing for 5 days. His mother thinks he may be camping out around these cliffs.
There's certainly a lot of attraction here, but it is dangerous, even still.
The cliffs in this area are treacherous and have already claimed lives.
It's pretty steep, rugged terrain. I wouldn't want my children hanging around here, rock climbing and that sort of activity. I can certainly understand why the mother would be anxious about her son rock climbing or just walking around here. We're going to have a look around to see if they have been here or might still be here, and then go from there.
Where do you reckon, Dougie? I reckon the cave's like further along the side.
Could be anywhere, really. They have to be down here somewhere, probably. Yeah, it seems a logical direction to go down to our right. There's no evidence of anybody rock climbing, camping or hanging around here.
So police need to do a broader search of the Pittwater area.
He's got a friend who he normally hangs around with in Scotland Island, who has a boat, and he used to row the boat around there and do what young blokes do.
But just before heading off, Doug gets a call from Lynn, who has some crucial information.
I've had a call from the teacher at the school, and she said that she's been asking more questions amongst the kids, and she was told that he's probably gone bush again in Patonga.
Right. Okay. When you say bush, did they give it any further information about that?
No, just gone bush again in Patonga.
Right.
Patonga is a small settlement around 10 kilometres away by water. Thomas and his friends have been seen heading in that direction.
Yep.
Jeez.
But they are in a rowboat, and to paddle across these open waters is no easy feat.
it's a long travel. You'd be fairly tired after doing something like that. You've got some open seas and hard work. You're probably going against the tide during that time. Yeah, tough time to do that.
Suddenly, on the way to Patonga, something catches Doug's eye.
Something in front of that sign there. Yeah, you see that rowboat just behind the beach there, straight ahead? Or it appears to be something like a rowboat. Tony, it looks like it's got some camping gear in that boat, mate. It looks like it matches the description of the boat we've been given. There.
Quick.
There, I see it. See it. Hey, boys, how are you?
Good, not bad.
Constable McIntyre, Police Missing Persons Unit. Senior Constable
How's it
Gale. Well, we're looking for a person that's been missing for about 5 days now.
Yeah, Thomas King.
But Thomas King, yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah. What's your name, mate?
Angus May.
Angus, and your name?
Zach Rigney.
Okay, Zach. So where is he?
He's just up the hill, just up there. We've got a little campsite where we had our fire. He's just putting it all out.
Oh, good.
We'll follow you.
How is he? Is he all right?
He's totally fine. Like, he's in perfect health.
Is he?
I'd say he's, like, better than when he left the mainland.
So if I go see him, mate?
Let's
Yeah.
go.
All right, let's go.
The tip-off given to Thomas's mother was correct, but the boys are clearly not in a hurry to be found. Thomas is in good health and has been found safe, but Mandy is not impressed.
You're not doing anything wrong. Your mum's worried. We're here to make sure you're all right.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I've been eating food. They're worried about my weight, but I've been eating, so there's not really any problem with that, I guess. And
I think your mum just worried where you are.
safe, I guess.
So, say something happens to one of you three, who knows you're here?
The other two.
If something happens to you three, who knows where you are?
We have our phones.
If
We have,
all right,
000.
worst case scenario, you don't know, OK, what's going to happen. All I'm saying is it's fine that you're camping. The responsible thing to do is let someone know exactly where you are. Do it the right way. Come camping, say, I'm going to camping.
My mates do. I have a mate that knows, like, where I am in the bay I'm staying at.
Well, that's why I'm just asking you who knows where you are.
Yeah, we have...
OK. Now, I'll just have to interrupt there. This is... Although we're only here out of concern for Thomas,
I know.
this is a police matter, OK?
OK,
We're not going to put pressure on Thomas, but we need to speak to Thomas by himself. But we need to talk to Thomas alone, all right?
All right.
Thanks, Angus.
Okay, thank you.
Because you're not in any trouble. Like, your mum's at home. Doug's spoken to her this morning. If you could see what this is doing to her, she doesn't know where the hell you are, and you'll never know till you've got kids of your own. And it was like below zero last night. Your mum's laying in bed wondering, where the hell's my son?
She didn't ask, like...
That's why we're here.
That's why you've been responsible, and just tell someone where you are. Just say, Mum, I need to go away for a few days. I'm with the boys. We're going to go camping. We're going to go Portuguese beach. We've got food. We've got water. Then there's no concern for her, you know?
Yeah.
Just do it the right way. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing, but do it the responsible way. Do it the right way. Tell someone where you are. When someone's whereabouts are unknown, they're classed as a missing person. Your whereabouts are unknown, you're a missing person, OK?
Probably won't happen again now. It won't happen again if my mum ever lets me go out again, that is.
She will, but if you do things the right way, you get your parents' respect, and then maybe you come to some understanding.
All right. Thanks, mate. Thanks for that. Did you walk behind me?
It's a great result for the Missing Persons Unit. Now, they can return Thomas to his mother, where he can tell her where he's been, even if it is 5 days too late.
You're going to go home. This is what's going to happen. You watch. You'll walk in, Mum will cry, you'll have a hug. Mum will say, no, she'll be glad you're home. You'll get to say your bit, she'll say her bit. You have a hot shower, let her cook you a hot meal, like mums want to do. Let you sleep in your bed. She knows tomorrow's another day, you know?
Back at headquarters, Senior Constable Gary Bailey is on the phone to the daughter of 55-year-old Michael Fagan, who's been missing for 4 days, ever since personal problems started to overwhelm him.
Dad has been quite depressed of late because his marriage broke down with my mum, and my mum got remarried, and he's still in love with her, and he recently lost his job, and he is a chronic alcoholic at the same time. And last week had been saying that he was going to go down and move to Goulburn, where his mother and his sister live. Recently he had borrowed a lot of money from my grandmother and hadn't paid it back. He's not very good with money and gets himself into financial trouble a lot of the time. So on the Sunday night, my Auntie Debbie told him that
he wasn't welcome down there.
He wasn't welcome down there. That my grandmother down there is actually quite ill at the moment, and couldn't handle Dad going down there.
Sounds like his sort of world sort of crashed right down around him, hasn't it, eh?
Yeah, it does sound like that. It sounds like he just got up and just wanted to disappear.
With so many problems and nowhere left to turn, Michael Fagan's case needs urgent attention. Gary heads out to visit his daughter Abby, who's been trying to work out what pressures might have pushed her father over the edge.
Me and my fiance actually went to his house yesterday just to look through bills and stuff. He hasn't taken anything with him, any clothes or anything like that. His accounts look like he owes money on them rather than has money.
Have money to get it out?
Yeah.
Do you know if he's on any medication at all? You sort of said that he's suffering from depression and things like that.
He wouldn't go on medication.
Wouldn't he?
No, he was seeing a counsellor last year, but stopped that, didn't want to go back again. We suggested he go on the dole because he doesn't have a job and he wouldn't do that.
You're too proud to do that?
Yeah, so we have no idea what he could be thinking or where he could be.
Obviously, he still has some strong feelings and that for your mother and that, and so that's you can't sort of get over that.
No, I think he's feeling very rejected and isolated and doesn't have
no one to turn to.
Yeah, no one to turn to. Everybody really he's burnt bridges with everybody.
Michael's depression and alcoholism have become a strain on his kids, and he now feels he's on his own to face the situation.
So I think he just feels like his world's breaking down, falling around him, and he doesn't know what to do. We just want to know that he's okay, and we want to be able to help him. Us kids would do anything for him. We want to be able to support him and just help him through this really tough time, like get him into rehab, do whatever it takes.
As Gary heads out to search for Michael, his daughter Abby hopes her dad is found. She's getting married soon and wants her dad to walk her down the aisle.
We love you, we're praying for you, and we hope that you call us and let us know that you're okay and let us know where you are.
In the hinterland of Queensland's Sunshine Coast, the Missing Persons Unit, the AGL Action Rescue Chopper, and SES volunteers have started an extensive search for Stuart Gatehouse, who went missing 5 years ago.
Yeah, may as well go and have a look at where he started from. Yeah, Wollongong Creek Road. Yeah, he started from there, left about 6 o'clock at night, heading towards Gympie.
Yeah, so he's just left from this greenhouse over here, coming back out towards Gympie.
Baby steps, searching.
It's all steep out through this road, is it?
Just to over the bluff road here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's all flat.
Oh, OK, so it's only this section?
Yeah, it's only this section that's steep.
Grant Gatehouse has travelled 600 kilometres from his home in Mackay to join the new search after his older brother didn't show up on his planned visit.
Feels pretty good to me, to be honest with you, to be involved in today as a whole and to come here where it was obviously he was last seen and to have a look around and understand the country that's involved.
When Stuart left home to start driving to his brother Grant's, it was already late in the night, and these winding mountain roads have proved to be notoriously dangerous.
The car could go into some of this stuff and they'd just disappear straight in.
See the thickness of this lantana makes it quite difficult searching in these areas.
Searching these steep and overgrown areas is an arduous task.
Watch your footing, everybody. A lot of overgrown lantana and scrub there. There could be big holes underneath all that we can't see.
But if the team can find Stuart's car, they'll be a step closer to finding him.
Don't rush.
Yeah, the blue van, then just up the hill a bit, there was something in there.
Later.
Finally, after hours of scouring the rugged terrain, the search team thinks they've found something.
Found a car wreckage.
With everyone's hopes raised, could this car wreck end a 5-year-old mystery? On Sydney's Pittwater, Doug and Mandy are heading back to land after finding missing teenager Thomas King at a secluded beach.
Is this good news or bad news? Oh, God, thank God.
I'm sorry.
I was so worried about you, mate. Thank you. Thank you for bringing me home.
He's a really good kid. He's a great kid, Lynn. Just to his credit, he came to us and he's a really nice boy, and we've been talking to him all the way. He's a beautiful kid and he listens, and they've showed us nothing but respect all afternoon. He's a really good boy.
I know he's a good boy.
He's a great kid.
I'm glad to have him back.
But at the same time, and we tried to explain to him he wants his space and all that, but there's the right way to do it and try and be responsible. And if you be honest with your mum and tell her how you feel, and your mum, it's just a communication. Tell each other how you're feeling.
Yeah, it's just, I'm just wanting some space, that's all, where I can think about what I want to do. And I know with the school and everything, with Robert picking me up and everything, it's just got a bit too heavy. I just needed a break away a bit. And I didn't mean to worry. You could ask where I was. And the only reason I couldn't receive your call the first time you called was my phone just was off, yeah.
It's been a good day for us. That's something we don't get to do, but yeah, it's been a big day, but it ended really good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
To get results like this, to see the thanks and the relief in families, in the faces of mothers and fathers and sons, and yeah, that's why we're doing the job.
In the Sunshine Coast hinterlands of Queensland, on the case of Stuart Gatehouse, SES volunteers have stumbled across the wreck of a car near where it's believed Stuart may have gone missing.
What colour is it, Rowan, do you know?
Yeah, it looks like an old blue car, rusted out. Been here a long time.
Okay. Oh, no, it's not red.
The breakthrough is short-lived. Stuart's car was a red Commodore.
Searches continue, it's not the car.
It's disappointing, but the search team, including Stuart's brother, isn't giving up yet.
I'm sort of feeling mixed, you know. It'd be one feeling to find something, but it's another feeling not to, I guess.
Are we all here?
Back in Tasmania, Stuart's father can only hope that the search may bring some form of closure after years of not knowing what happened to his son.
I think the family are prepared to, you know, take whatever comes and deal with it, but it's the not knowing that's the hard thing. It's just impossible when you don't know. I mean, if he's not alive still, well, at least we'll know.
Back in Sydney, Gary Bailey is on the phone to Alan, the flatmate of missing 55-year-old Michael Fagan. Alan describes some of the difficulties Michael's been facing in recent times.
He got the sack from work about 3 months ago now, because I used to work with him as well.
Yeah.
And he got the sack from there, and yeah, just since then he's just been real quiet and all that sort of rubbish. But he knocked off one, yesterday afternoon, he took a carving knife, a big carving knife, with about 12-inch blade on it, So I don't know what you got that for.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't have it for the wrong reason.
Yeah, well, that's it, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
It's an alarming scenario, so Gary heads straight over to Michael's flat, hoping to find more clues.
We'll go through Michael's room and just see if we can pick up anything that might lead to us to find out where he may be at the present time.
Cool.
Michael's flatmate Alan is also keen to find him, but for different reasons than Abby.
I get an SMS on my phone from the real estate saying we need $1,500 immediately.
So how much of that is yours then?
Oh, it'd be $800. He was paying the rent. I give him the money, he pays the rent.
Yeah. So you've actually got no idea where he would have put
No idea at all. No.
Yeah.
He, I know he did have a caravan. I don't know if it was his caravan or his ex-wife's caravan.
Yes, I think that's the case. I think it's his ex-wife and he's sort of been barred from there, I think. That's been...
Well, everything was his ex-wife's.
Yeah.
The only thing he's got is what's in that room there.
All his clothes are here too, so, you know, he's obviously going to be just wearing the clothes he's got on.
After losing his wife and his job, Michael was left with little else, most of which he's left behind.
If I can just find some phone numbers here or mates, something, you know, might be able to give them a ring just to get some idea where he may be. There's nothing in that wallet though, of course.
This is it, is it?
Yeah, well, that's pretty well it, yeah.
Wasn't much in there.
But it's what he's taken with him that worries Alan the most.
Well, just one other thing. You're saying that you had a big knife here that's missing.
Yeah, my carving knife, that's when I opened the place.
How big is it?
It's got about 12-inch blade on it, I suppose, is it?
Where do you normally keep that, in the drawers there or something?
The second drawer down, this one.
Do you have a good look around and she's definitely not there?
Yeah, I've gone... Usually sits right in there.
Yeah.
I've gone through all the other cupboards.
Yep.
Gone through the fry mags and everything, looking for it. You know what? The other cupboard's up here.
Just
one
one
other stuff in, and that's it. You know.
Just one big sort of blade, is it?
Big blade, a 12-inch blade.
Depressed, alcoholic, feeling rejected by his family, and carrying a carving knife. It's a recipe that makes Michael's case priority one.
The sooner we can get a hold of him and get him some treatment, the better. Thanks very much.
My name's Steve McAllister from Police Missing Persons Unit. How are you?
Oh, well, thank you.
Steve McAllister is speaking to the mother of a 24-year-old man who disappeared 4 days ago.
When was the last time you seen him?
I saw him on the Sunday. Now, it wasn't this Sunday.
Yep.
That's just expired. It was the Sunday before.
So the 2nd. OK, and he was living with his fiancée, was that correct?
Yes, and her family.
Mandili Barletta's fiancée called off the wedding, leaving him devastated.
It's been a nightmare since day one. He comes to me, he says, Mum, I've been kicked out again. I say, well, here, darling, it's your room.
Right, OK. And does he work at all?
Yes, he has a cleaning company.
Yep.
Which he started off a few years ago. He has a big contract on Sundays.
And he didn't turn up for that, do you know?
It's the first time in 4 years.
And he didn't show?
They've never missed a job.
Like, he's a young fella who's actually running a business by himself. He's trying to get on with life, set himself up, and it is worrying that he just doesn't turn up.
Steve is on his way to speak to Mandili's mother, who's greatly concerned for the welfare of her son.
Because he's got the problem with his relationship breaking down, the pressures are mounting on this young fella are immense. The quicker we can get to speak to him, the better. Hello, Josephina.
Hi, how you doing?
Thank you. Now, have you contacted his father?
Yes, I have.
He's heard nothing from him?
Nothing. He's tried through his contacts.
Now, him and Elizabeth sound like they've been going up and down a few times.
They've had a terrible relationship from day one, and a lot of his friends have maintained their friendship with him because of her.
Being jilted by his fiancée isn't Mandili's only problem.
The last time he was here, he just said, Mum, you know, I'm in debt and I want to get out of debt. He went and got a loan. Now, unfortunately, the loan is a short-term, high-interest loan.
Right, okay.
It was all he could do because he was maxed out with credit.
Right, yep.
He said to me, how can I have a future, Mum, when I'm weighed down with all these debts?
Rightio then, Josephine. Thanks very much for your time. Keep informed, OK, on what we're doing.
across town, Gary Bailey and Diana Eucles are canvassing local clubs in the search for Michael Fagan, who's been missing for 5 days.
Mate, we're just trying to find this chap here. He's been reported missing. You've sort of seen him around at all? It's the one in the middle there.
Yeah, I have seen him regularly at the club, probably about a week ago.
About a week?
Yeah, a week ago. He's a bit of a loner. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so have you seen him around at all?
Seen him a few times. Haven't seen him recently, though. No.
I'd say you'd know this bloke, Michael Fagan, right in the middle there. No?
No? We're a little club and I know all my members.
Yeah? No, don't come here. Recognise him at all, that chap in the middle there?
Yes, he's a member here. Yeah, comes in quite frequently.
About how long since you've seen him?
Probably a couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks?
Yeah, a few weeks at least. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if I could just leave a poster here and perhaps might just jog someone's memory when he comes in. We can see him.
Very much so.
OK, bye.
There's no sign of Michael, but Gary, like Michael's family, has been trying to call his mobile number.
Hi, you've reached Mike Fagan. I can't answer the phone at the moment. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you.
My name's Senior Constable Gary Bailey from the Missing Persons Unit. We've been trying to find you for about the last 4 days. You're not in any trouble, but all we'd like is for you to call the Missing Persons Unit. Please give us a call and everything will be OK. Thank you. Bye.
At police headquarters, Steve has finally got in touch with Mandili's ex-fiancée, who explains why she ended the relationship.
Is this the first time you sort of had a disagreement and he's sort of gone out?
He's done that quite a bit, quite
Right.
frequently, but this time it's been quite bad because he knows what he's done is wrong and I'm not going to put up with it. He's been gambling quite a bit, hides a lot of things from me, gets involved with certain people that I do not like.
Yep.
And then I decided that I couldn't put up with what's been happening.
Yep.
And I said, look, I don't think it's going to work out. And he was quite upset and quite angry.
Yeah.
And then he stormed out and then sent me a few text messages saying, don't worry about all my things, and saying that he's driving away and never coming back.
The loss of a 6-year relationship and mounting debts is a lot to deal with, and the police fear that Mandili's welfare could be under serious threat.
Mentally, there are things that we can help you with. There's always solutions to problems, and you don't have to necessarily get in contact with me, but, you know, I'd love to hear from you, and Dad would love to hear from you. We do care.
In the Sunshine Coast hinterlands, the large-scale search for Stuart Gatehouse has been underway for hours.
Where are you, Julie?
It's believed Stuart disappeared somewhere on this highway.
You've had a big day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is a little bit of a big day, but
Yeah.
this is what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
The Action Rescue Chopper and SES volunteers have scoured every part of the terrain where Stuart or his car could have ended up.
How you going, Rowan?
Nothing at all down in there?
No, no.
Despite finding the wreckage of a car, it wasn't Stuart's.
Would have been good to find the car or find him or find something, just so that the family knows that, you know, what happened to the poor fellow.
It's a disappointing result for all involved, but nonetheless, Grant is grateful to the search team for their efforts.
On behalf of my family, I cannot extend enough thanks of appreciation for you guys giving up your day to help out our cause. I feel as though this is probably, in the whole time he's been missing since '04, I think today has been the best shot. So, thumbs up, guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, totally appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
That's why we're here, buddy.
Thanks, mate. Hey, that was really good.
But Grant won't be leaving without a memento of his brother. The time has come to collect Stuart's belongings that are still in his home, just as he left them 5 years ago.
Well, Grant, this is some of the property that Dave's put out for us.
It's, yeah, it's a bit hard. I always thought it would be when I saw his stuff.
At New South Wales Police Headquarters, there's been a breakthrough in the 5-day case of missing man Mandili Barletta.
He made contact with you last night, did he?
Yep. His father rang me about half an hour ago and he said, oh, Mandili's at his house. And he said, you know, and he started crying and he said, Mum, I love you.
Yeah.
It's been good news, but police need to see Mandili before he can be struck off the police register. And it's a scenario the Missing Persons Unit is all too familiar with.
A lot of people seem to want to go just for time out after they have a problem, whether it be money, a relationship problem, anything like that, and they just seem to want to take off.
Hadley, how you doing?
Good.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
Good, mate.
So, mate, a few things got to you?
Yeah, get away for a little bit.
Yeah. A few people have been quite worried about you, including your father.
So you speak to someone first and at least exhaust the available, resources before you leave everyone in a panic.
Yeah, just wanted to get away, go and have a bit of fun up the coast and...
Yeah. Trouble is, mate, it sends all alarm bells ringing, like...
Yeah, I know. So I didn't really think of the consequences. But...
Yeah, a lot of people don't, mate, but puts people under stress. Cool. Yeah. Right, yeah.
Mandili says he just needed time out to get over the devastating breakup with his fiancée.
It's good to see Mandela's home. He's got a good father who can probably help him with his problems. I think he can get himself back on track and I think he can have a great life.
And it's not the only good news for the Missing Persons Unit. On the case of missing man Michael Fagan, he's turned up at his daughter's house after receiving messages from the police that they were looking for him. Gary knows that to lose everything at this age is tough, and he wants to help Michael get back on track.
You know, you've done it tough before, bugger.
3.5 years.
Yeah. You get down so low, you know, life is nothing anymore, you know. And I know you've been through hell and that, you know.
Yeah, now what?
No, well, I know I don't know.
But there's people here who listen.
I probably use that literally. I don't know. I don't know. But I have seen a lot of cases.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's right. So you're in no trouble at all, mate. The main thing is you're right. You've got somewhere to stop, you know, for the next couple of days. Give cause a little bit of grief to Abby and.
No grief, just worry.
Worry, yeah. But it's good to see, you know, she's a loving daughter. She thinks the world of you, you know. Get you back on track and everything will be beautiful. All right?
Yeah.
But despite the distress of his disappearance, Abby is just glad to see her dad home safe.
We just hugged, yeah. And sat down and had a cup of coffee and just talked. And you know that we are here for you when it gets tough. And that's why we're going to help you through this.
Yep.
Because you're our dad and we love you.
But although he's back safe with his daughter, Gary encourages Michael to seek professional help.
And we really hope, mate, you can settle down and get some treatment and get back on deck, all right?
And surrender that dangerous carving knife.
Thanks, mate. All right, mate, I'd say is all the best, and you go down there on Monday and...
yeah, thanks.
And give it a try, won't you?
Yeah.
And I'll ring you in, you know, in a few weeks and that, and just make sure you're sticking to it and you're going all right, OK? Yeah. All right, mate. OK, good on you.
And Gary's glad that the days of searching for Michael have reunited a family at such a crucial time.
Poor Michael, he's a shattered man. The best part about it is that he's now going to get some treatment that'll start on Monday. And I think really what a beautiful thing that's going to come out of this, he's aware of that. His daughter's going to get married in October and he'll be back on track and he'll be able to walk her down the aisle and everything will be beautiful.
As Michael and Abby rebuild their relationship, back in Queensland, Stuart Gatehouse's brother Grant has the difficult task of collecting his belongings.
That was his old toolbox that never left his side. I'm sort of surprised he left it Because, I mean, it's not like a day's trip from here to Mackay.
Yeah.
It's a wonder he didn't have his toolbox with him, but obviously if he was coming back in 6 weeks, he wouldn't bother carrying all that up there with him. There's his binoculars. Dad brought him then when he was 18.
We've had a look through it, mate. There's certainly no clue as to where he was headed or what he was doing. So
It means it's even more bewildering to me because it's all here, hanging in the closet, packed in the cupboard, ready for him to come back in the 6 weeks and grab it. And this is the last place that anyone knew him to be.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
Now that I've actually seen it here, it's all so familiar. It's almost as like he's still here, you know. It's I can recognise these clothes. I think the last time I saw him, he was wearing that shirt, possibly. Excuse me, this is a bit hard.
It may have been 5 years, but it's still no easier on Grant.
Oh, I just have to have a spill for a sec.
Not knowing what happened to Stuart is the hardest part of his brother's disappearance.
What's the next step? Where do we go now? You know, what's next down the track? You know, our family's never had experience with this type of thing before. Where does it go from here? Does it get harder? Does it get easier? Do we find closure? Don't we? Not don't we know what's happened to Stuart, we don't know what the end result's going to be either. So, yeah, it's hard.
As Grant packs up his brother's belongings, he can only hope that one day they'll find out where he went that night 5 years ago.
Just really put an appeal from the heart out there to everybody in Australia. If they come across his VL Commodore red with the silver bumpers or see Stuart around anywhere, please to ring police and let them know.
Stuart, boy, if you're out there, mate, you had our phone numbers here and you've got Grant's phone numbers. Please make contact with either one of us or both of us. You know, I just want to know that you're about and that you're okay.
Every 15 minutes, someone is reported missing in Australia. Have you seen Elizabeth Herford, who disappeared from Canberra, ACT in 1980? Or Donald Turner, last seen in Hobart, Tasmania, May 1990? And Stephen Mitchell, who went missing from Peakhurst, New South Wales in March 2007. If you have any information, please call 1800 333 000. "1,000 kilometres north in Brisbane, the Queensland Missing Persons Unit has renewed an investigation into the 5-year-old case of Stuart Gatehouse. 45-year-old Stuart went missing after leaving his Kenilworth home in 2004 and setting off to visit his brother 600 kilometres away in Mackay.
In good spirits as far as we know, just having a chat the night before with his friend the way you would, and then unfortunately he's never been seen since.
And neither has Stuart's red Commodore. After numerous false sightings and still no sign of Stuart all these years later, his family has asked police to reopen the case and widen their search.
In all of these missing person cases, it's very important for the family to locate the missing person and get some closure. If it's bad news that the person has passed away, then that's very distressing for the family, but it's also, they know, at least they have some answers. Hopefully Stuart's still alive, but yes, for the family, they're a big victim in these sorts of matters and probably a underrated victim. It turns out a search has not been done for his vehicle in the area around where he went missing. So what we're going to do is organise SES and the AGL rescue helicopter to help us out with the search in the area.
Mates, and hasn't been seen for 5 days.
What was his state of mind when he initially went missing on Friday morning?
On Friday morning, he was very moody and very surly. I asked him what was wrong, and he said nothing, that he just didn't like the idea of having to go to school for another day. And I sort of said, well, mate, you know, that's life. I don't know, I can go into work every day, but I have to do it. and I'd actually spoken to him about we could go for some driving lessons, and he just kind of grunted at me.
OK, all right. Well, we might head up your way to try and help you out further and speak to the local police.
OK, thanks, Doug.
OK.
OK, bye.
Thank you. Bye. Should we go, Mandy? Dean, how are you? Hi, Constable McIntyre.
Hi.
This is Senior Constable Gale.
Hi, nice to meet you, Mandy.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really slept since he went missing, because you want your kids in home and bed, don't you? You don't want them out.
So has he taken a bag with clothes, or you can't be sure?
I don't think so, and if he has, he hasn't taken much. I dropped him off at school on Friday, and he was wearing his long black pants, and he had a T-shirt under his school shirt. But
At home in Tasmania, Stuart's father has never given up hope that one day he'll have answers to the mysterious disappearance of his oldest son.
I mean, the very fact that we've heard nothing sort of does make you wonder, I must admit, but no, I mean, Stuart's a survivor, and that's the latest photo of all. If I've got a Stuart's taken 2003, that one. So Stuart's 50 now. I know where they all are, the kids, you know, and I just want to know where Stuart is, and so that I've, you know, I mean, he knows where I am, and I just want to say good day, so how you going, mate, you know?
Back in Queensland, Stuart's younger brother Grant is still clinging to the hope that he'll see his brother again, and has travelled from his home in Mackay to join the new search.
Whenever Stuart was around, there was always a laugh and a joke, and it was, you know, it was part of a great family time. And I have 3 children of my own, and, you know, I can see a bit of Stuart in them, and I'd really like it, you know, if he could have input into their lives.
Although it's been 5 years since he went missing, Detective Damien Powell hopes that an extensive air and land search near where Stuart was last seen may unearth clues to his baffling disappearance. Tonight, on Missing Persons Unit, Stuart Gatehouse set out to visit his brother, but never made it.
Can't go into some of this stuff and it'll just disappear straight in.
It's a massive land and air search in one of the most emotional cases yet.
Where does it go from here? Does it get harder? Does it get easier? Do we find closure, don't we?
Then, the Missing Persons Unit hit the water in the hunt for Thomas King, missing for 5 days on the Hawkesbury River.
Yeah, you see that rowboat just behind the beach there?
And a beloved father disappears after his marriage breaks down and he loses his job. Now, his daughter just wants him home in time to walk her down the aisle.
I think he's feeling very rejected and isolated and doesn't have...
Got nothing, no one to turn to.
Yeah, no one to turn to.
At the New South Wales Missing Persons Unit, Constable Doug McIntyre is on the phone to Lynn, the mother of Thomas King, who ditched school with 2...
That was all he had. I found his little school bag that he had with him when I dropped him off, so he's obviously come back and got more stuff. We found that the screen on his window is broken, so he may have even climbed in that way.
Tom's been missing for 5 days after taking off with 2 school friends. It's not just his well-being that's in jeopardy.
Is he under any pressure at school?
Yeah. Essentially, he'll now be expelled because he was on this contract, so because he hasn't turned up,
he would know that?
Every right.
So,
he knows that.
So he'd be feeling he's let you down?
Oh, absolutely. My biggest concern, obviously, is something horrible could happen to him. And if they've got no money, then how are they going to get money? How are they going to survive unless they steal or they get into any worse trouble? So.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really sorry for you guys. Sorry.
As Doug and Mandy head off to start the search for Tom, his mum Lynn just hopes he realises it's okay to come home.
Thomas, if you are seeing this, this is your chance to come home before you're in trouble, because you might be finding yourself in a position where you do something that you regret. I love you and I want you home.